Hey, how's it going? So, it is, well, now it's Thursday morning, but, you, I don't know why I started that sentence with you. That I wasn't gonna, okay, I wasn't gonna say anything about that, but I guess pin that for a minute. I, what I think I meant to say was, I was watching one of those videos, one of those new age videos, metaphysical videos, whatever you want to call them, and it was the Eye of Wisdom channel actually, but I reference it pretty often because their thumbnails are so bombastic, really. um, I realize that they really want people to look, and I mean, I get it, because what they're saying is if you can hear it, you need to be hearing it, I think. There's like something happening. People are trying to affect a certain kind of change, and that's a way. The new age way. And so they are advising people on things. I have to adjust this. There. Advising people on things like why you might feel what I like to call crazy with crazy sauce. Because I don't know exactly how to explain it. I'm still actually totally really feeling it. And it's weird because I'm going to link this video that I started talking about from Eye of Wisdom. But in the past, I have mentioned that if there's some sort of astrological thing that's, like prominent in some way, I will feel it like up to a week before. And I was just saying yesterday, and now I'm kind of kicking myself, that I wasn't really feeling what I knew to be coming, what this video is talking about, and other ones before it have been talking about. But there have been so many combination geophysical, astronomical, astrological, just human events happening that fully affect us, whether we notice it or not. And I'm having like a little confused moment because I'm thinking, like, before I started thinking about any of this stuff in this way, it was like being like in some sort of cryo sleep or something, and yet you're like, I was gonna say fully awake, but not really, just sort of functional and operative and walking around, and yes, living a life, but not really seeing what is actually around you, like being taken in by like the colors of the lights and the sounds, distractions. There's, oh man, I don't know how much I would talk about that because I kind of want to stay with what I wanted to talk about in the first place. But let's just say there are so many layers to reality, and I'm not even trying to be like spooky about it. It's just that things happen that affect us, and sometimes it's good, but usually it's not, because the cases I'm talking about, they're not, because you don't find out that they're not okay and good for you until after they really messed you up or messed up somebody. So there's this sneakiness, this dishonesty in, like, everything. It's so pervasive. Like, we just do it. I personally have no, like, business or technological secret that I'm guarding. Like, I don't have that. So I don't know why, but even me, I get like that sometimes, where I'm like, I don't know what I think, but it's like I feel like I have to, like, I'm just saying this because I'm gonna say, like I have to. I'm trying to say that I feel like I have to like project something, and but there's nothing. Like I'm not like. Hold on, I need to get the wording right on this. I guess it's just for other people to see, which is probably true in every case. But what I don't have behind me is like some major corporation or person or something famous or valuable. Like, there's no artifice, it's just me. So, if I'm putting something on, it's, I guess, the least deceptive version of that you're gonna run into, because I'm not. I'm not gonna try too hard. Like, you know what? This is it. This is about as hard as I want to work, really, in that area. Thank you very much. A lot of people put priorities on what they want to focus on, and we all choose ours, and so there. But anyway, what I realize is because of all of those things that I mentioned, making it feel a certain way, making us feel a certain way, making those feelings and the strength of them, like, maybe we're not all aware that this is happening to us. It's kind of like full moons, you know, like before everyone got like all, you know, crystals and talking the talk, the metaphysical talk. There's layers to that too. There's a lot to be learned about it, or relearned, or, you know, just recalled, that you're just like, oh my God, another thick avenue I don't want to go down. So let me just try to stay on track. It's just our world, you know, like everything is, it's got like something else in front of it obscuring what the real thing behind it actually is, or the real activity behind it actually is. Like, whatever the little stinky thing that you're not being told for some reason that's for your own good, air quotes, and it's really more like their good that it's good for, you know? Like, no one wants to tell you the truth about anything, hardly, and it's gross because, like I said, like, I don't have a company that's polluting somewhere that I have to go out in public because I want to still sell it and look good, and then pretend like this rot that's mine and right behind me isn't happening. Like, I don't have that, so like I'm not gonna put up all of that fakeness, but a company, none of us have to, but we sort of monkey see, monkey do, and so it's like capitalism. Like, that's how we do it. That's just the way we do it, and it doesn't matter how terrible it is in some cases, and for it to function, I think its function has changed over the time of its existence, and its function's getting real funky right now, but we all now just accept it like we do the Pledge of Allegiance. It's just like, it's America, it's capitalism, it's just what we do. And I'm like, I don't want to do that, though, because for it to function and for people to become successful at the capitalism, somebody's gotta not do well at all in that spectrum. That's how we end up with the wealth inequality, because with the wealth seems to come both a slide to the right, and also at the same time, like you get a hole somewhere on you where all of your compassion leaks out. It's very much like drug addiction or substance dependency. But it looks like you, once you get in there and you're wealthy, you have to change your behavior, change your thinking, change the way you act. I mean, I already said behavior, but I mean, you go from being like a person like everybody else to a person that, by definition, almost is like can't associate with you unless you are part of their ilk, and that's really too bad. I feel like that's not really great for the whole rest of society to function happily because of the way capitalism works. Like the one end gets like really good stuff and the other end gets the shit end of the stick. It's almost like the phrase was made up for it. Please pardon. So you got all this stuff that you can't really touch. I mean, there's charts of it, like the geophysical, astro, blah, blah, what I was talking about to begin with. But then you have the way those are making us all act, behave, react. And like I'm trying to say about the full moons, like you might know that stuff like that can and will affect you. And I feel like once I started to learn more about all of those things, then I was able to link those things to effects that I was having concurrently. Like I was able to figure out like this happens when that happens, right? So, but we're not all really aware of that, and I feel like the not being aware, it's like that quantum physics thing, which I'm not even going to start talking about that either. Stop it! Stop trying to distract yourself. Yeah, so let me see if I can get back where I was before I start talking about stupid quantum physics. Okay, so yeah. Oh, yeah, right. So you don't know. You just know, like, there's a thing where it's like, oh, full moons make people act crazy. And you hear, like, a bunch of people say, oh, no, it doesn't. That doesn't make sense. That's stupid. Or, like, whatever their disagreeing format is. But then you'll have, like, police who also disagree, but then in the same breath go, but yeah, also on full moons it does get kind of crazy. It's like, whoop, you just said no. Why you? But emergency room people, they don't mess around with it. They're like, yep, full moon, get ready, it's gonna get nuts. So there's varying levels of observance, of I don't know, ability to see it. But like I said, I think it's linked to like awareness of things. I could be wrong, but I could also be right, which would be nice. So anyway, I'm glad I'm laughing because I have been feeling, like I said, crazy all day. Like, in fact, I wrote something, I'm just going to read it. It's not long, I promise. Short time, I guess I'll just start with the notes. Adrift in a sea of code. Oh, right. So that's something different, but I'll just go ahead and talk about it a little bit. It was just, I don't even know what it means. Like, I feel like it's filled with information. It feels like it may come later, since there's obviously information involved, but I was meditating and I saw like myself in like ocean, and it was kind of active, but it wasn't a storm. It was just like, kind of big waves, but they were small. And I think that was because it felt like I was in a really deep place, like way out to sea, right? Which is kind of alarming in a way. Like I don't think I like that idea of like land nowhere to be seen and nothing you can feel, like the earth underfoot, and then you start thinking about, well, what else could be under there, and it's like, oh my god, don't go there. So, but yeah, okay, so I see this vision of me in the sea, like first it's just regular ocean, and then I start thinking about the stuff that could be in there with me, and I look around and it's all of this code, like computer code. Or I don't even know if it's what I think computer code looks like. That's probably not what it looks like. It's like the numbers in the matrix, the little skinny green lines of code, right? I think that's code. So that's what I was seeing. I know that when the kids go to what is the school where they learn the different math stuff, and coding is one of them things they teach them. I don't think it's that they're doing there. I feel like I don't know. I don't know. And you know what? It's somebody else's job, so I don't have to worry about it. But anyway, like I said, but that was it. I was floating, just for the briefest moment. I'm in the sea. I get scared about what the hell is possibly under my feet that I can't see, which is stupid because I feel like that would almost draw whatever you're afraid of right to you. Like you start leaking fear into the water, and they're like, "Oh, food." So anyway, but I feel like that's what made that thought made the code become visible. And it's like, yeah, on the surface, I can blunt object that. Like, yeah, I'm in the sea. The sea would be the sea we're all in, and the code is like information, maybe everybody else's information. Maybe it's just everybody else, and they just look like information instead of other people, and I could look the same way to them. I'm not having their dream, though, so let's not go there. It wasn't a dream. But anyway, that was it. Just bobbing in the water. And then, whoa, code, what? And then my active brain started thinking and I lost it. But, yeah, so that was a note I had written down because I didn't really think I was going to write a whole thing. Water, emotions, title, and atmospheric currents. Just that general, fine, just drool. What am I doing? that general feeling of like unseen strong stuff, like moving you, pushing you around, like emotionally, and just I really think that the combined effect of that affects events too that people are in. And so when you're affected and then this thing is happening and maybe you were already doing something but the effect is making it different, and like the whole like interchange could just turn into something. And does that make sense? And then on the grand scale of that's happening so like I said, lots of stuff pulling, and then water, also can sweep you away, can pull you under, etc., etc. Like I feel like there's a theme. The feeling of of an overheating reactor within. Oh, well, that was personal. That was about how I was feeling. Because, like, just trying to, like, go through the day and interact normally with people if you have to, or even online. I do remember thinking, I was feeling like, like a Chernobyl situation with a reactor. Like, it's failing, it's overheating, and it's out of control. But on the outside, you just kind of got to be like, you just can't just be losing it all the time. And when I say you, I mean me. But it's hard because in the same way of like things not affecting you because you're just not quite so aware of it, I also feel like because I know that I have the time and lack of social interaction to be able to just agree to open completely up and just feel all of this stuff. And as a light worker, I don't know why I'm rolling my eyes, but I feel a little silly saying it, but as a light worker, that's why I'm doing it, to help absorb some of this mishigas is just blah. I don't really have words for it. So, okay. I think I can just start reading now. Oh, no, I can't. Sentimental triggers, plentiful, painful, and powerful. Yeah. Like you may have picked up on, because I say it all the time. I watch a lot of YouTube, and I like to watch animal stuff, and man, the stuff is getting really like I'm in tears a lot, or on the verge of tears watching stuff, and it's getting ridiculous. Like, come on, I can't look at anything. Like, I literally yesterday was like, seriously, this is making me cry. It's like being a weird kind of drunk. Okay, now I'm gonna read. Short time to go to the light or not a factor. So in this period, while it's all like being inside of a mixer or a dryer or something, we the video, I believe this one does talk about this. It's been talking about it on this subject, that there's just a lot of hitting us, and it's I don't know if it's like, I guess it's like a deliberate thing, or it's meant to be that we have to decide while all of this is going on and pulling at us. What side do we want to be on? Do we want to be on the side of like the men who want to own the whole world and take over the world, which is like the people at the top of the pyramid, the rich people, the people that basically Trump represents, and the BRICS people? I mean, those countries have not had it as good as the Western countries, and in a lot of ways, the West can, I don't want to say be blamed for it, because I don't think it was intentional, but some things that made the West successful because of circumstances in other places, it just made it harder for them to be, forget about being as successful as the U.S., but just made it difficult to be successful, period. But it is not entirely the fault of the U.S. There's plenty of countries that have similar situations with like land and resources and people, and just the fact that similar, not the same, that all of these countries, every country seems to be experiencing a low birth rate. So the thing that I see most disturbing those people is that they won't have enough people to run their countries, like their manufacturing and their defense. That seems to be like paramount to these people, which is weird, because you could kind of fix everything else and those things would sort of come along like in the wake of fixing the other stuff that I feel like is more the priority, which is the people that they expect to go run the factories and do the jobs. And it is so weird, like the really wealthy class like seem to hate women and poor people and don't want us to have everything. But it's like that weird dynamic they used to have in like the Black South when there were slaves, or post-slavery South, which I guess has gotten somewhat better for black people. But black people could not use the same like silverware or glasses, but they could prepare the food, raise the children, keep the house. So it's a weird it's like a weird dehumanizing thing. Like you've just become Rosie the Robot or something. And even if you're not like in that personal situation, because all of those people can't be in a personal situation with all of the whole rest of us, but they've already decided like how they're gonna, well, they've made their decision about us. Like, I think first and foremost, they think they're the better people, and they do have all the money, so they can like make every rule work for them and break all of them at the same time. And I know it all sounds like, oh God, horribly desperate, or else maybe like that, because I think that's a big part of it too. They just like it. They just like being mean. They like taking stuff away, but I can't help but always remember all of the stuff they have came on the back of a whole bunch of other people's work. Like they weren't actually out there in the meatpacking plant on the line getting sliced up and getting whatever bad things go along with that job. There are some I don't care to remember what they all are. But anyway, now I don't know what I was talking about. So, let's see if I can go back to this. Oh, right. Deciding. Do you want to be with the people, which is about fairness and equality? And I feel like a move to like a more solid position in the love column. The love is where the good, happy things happen, and the fear column is where the anger and the greed and the hate stuff lives. And so, just to give you a little map legend there. Where am I? So yeah, it's a challenge. Crazy stuff going on, pulling at us in a lot of ways. And now's the time, like, pick your side. So, some panic-based behavior takes hold, attempts to exert the same fear and thereby manipulation, while destructive isn't as effective as in the not too distant past. Lots of pasta tossed at walls in desperation to reverse the building trend away from historical positions of power and the places and people historically under the control of it. Can you feel the pull? Pulls may be the more accurate described, since there are combinations of geopolitical and geographical points generating them. This in turn creates all of these emotional energies, like in reaction to that stuff. Fear, hate, greed, resentment, and vengeance, envy, anger, entitlement, the fear column, and throughout and underscoring it all, believe it or not, is love. Appearing there, invisible to many, but for each of the emotional trigger waves, at their roots in some way, is love. We love someone, they don't love us back. Oh my God, we hate somebody. That's how that works. We don't hardly know what to do with it. I mean, hardly any of us do, is my feeling after a lifetime of observation. I saw it genuine and false, for financial gain, for emotional wounding, for bonding in ways healthy and not. We screw with it so much, at times, it's unrecognizable. At the root of that is not recognizing that it not let me try that again. At the root of that is not recognizing that in its purest form it acts as it should without condition. It seems like we meddle with it until it's unrecognizable as such, and we no longer possess the capacity to recognize it as such. Love in its purest form, if I lost you. Love allows us to crash it and then tow it along behind us. Every opportunity to repair it, an opportunity to restore it to mint condition, so to speak. All day I've been tossed one way to the other like a rag doll, boneless. Lots of deep breathing, and finally all of the work paying off, and I halted in figurative and literal, or I halted literally and figuratively. Okay, I'm gonna try that one more time. The work paying off, and I halted in figurative and sometimes literal mid-step, which that's a misnomer because I'm, in a wheelchair. I'm generally not doing stepping, but you can make the change if you need. Where did it go? Oh, yes. So yeah, sometimes in literal mid-step to determine whether an overwhelming moment of sadness or anger, not sourced by my own sources of sadness or anger, hit. So I made that very difficult to understand. But basically what I was trying to say was I would find myself moving from room to room or whatever, or even just sitting still and get hit by one of these waves of emotion and like going, okay, That's not my stuff. Just having to feel like, whoa, like I gotta hold on to something. Like it felt like I don't know, falling in space. It felt crazy. Okay. Blah, blah. I held tight to the nearest handhold and said to myself, "Whoa, this is hardcore." My own, comparably affected as well. Uh, my own stuff. It's been hard because there is a need to differentiate for myself. This is the only, or wow, I read that dyslexic. This is only the start. So much of the accepted norms are crumbling and faltering in their throes of the onset of obsolescence. Glad I'm not a stutterer. I never would have gotten through that. From a light worker perspective, these are the conditions all of the previous incarnations were the prep for. All of the norms trying to hold on for dear life, creating havoc because of all of us hanging on to the dying structures like capsized ship survivors when all they really have to do is get up, nut up, and find an appetite. Almost done. For adventure. For the next phase in life. Love. In its purest form. Anyone? Come on, you can do better than that. Let me try that again. For that next phase in life. Love in its purest form, anyone? God, I did that wrong still. Yes, please. I got that one right. I'll take some love in its purest form. Because, boy, have you not experienced your fill of love in the totally distorted form? I did pull some cards from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. And I got Hollow Bone, which you can see from the displayed photographs. The bone came from an animal and was made into a flute. For some reason, the dead animal, they haven't set up to be playing the flute. What happens there at night? And the feathers. I can't give you like the exact symbolism for any of that. Anyway, the subtitle on this card is Teachability, and did this collection of bones and like animal part, what do you call that? Oh no, that's poop. Never mind. Well, spore is poop, right? Anyway, the animal leavings, the animal is gone, but it's still remaining in use. And it's still in the game, and the card is Teachability. So like all of these animals, well, at least the bones, you can see that they are no longer the living specimen, but they're still around to tell a story. So Teachability is the subtitle here, and it's like, it's not necessarily that this collection of parts is teaching you anything, but it has the ability to teach you by what you can infer from it, like in the context. So, and the context is of, making your way through this crazy wind tunnel thing that watch the video. I'll link it. So, oh yes, and that is, which is 28. So, interesting. 2 and 8 is 10, and 1, 0, 1. That would be, reset. The odometer went all the way from life to bones, and it's a reset, and it can still, in the bone format, teach you something, a thing or two. So this card is a number 14 card, number 5 for change. Drifter, experiencing life as it comes. So, I did reference having to hold on to, like, my mind kept saying handrail, and I'm like, but there's not any in this room. There are some in the house because I'm a handy person. So some places where it's slippery, like in the bathroom, there's all kinds of handholds, but that's not like, I don't have it set up for the whole rest of the place because my place just came with those. I didn't actually put them there. I'm glad they're there, but so yeah, I don't have those. I don't put them up like decorations, which is why when I was reading badly, what I wrote there was that I was like looking for something to hold on to, and I wasn't actually moving though. It wasn't. There was no huge wind blasting through here. It was just like all of the stuff that I could feel. It just felt like it was going through me. Sort of like, you know, being in active water, right? And so in this body of water, though, is a contemplative period. Although, if you look, there is the Chinese junk. And I'll tell you, a boat is going to have a lot of places to hold on. So this is like a pretty calm looking period, but it does look sort of foreboding overhead, like, you know, well, it just looks like things could change with those clouds. That darkness could turn into rough weather. And anyway, yeah, hold on for dear life. But this ship, oh my gosh, and I mentioned capsized ship. This ship is not capsized though, so you still have the chance to just hold on. And, you know, it doesn't look like right then you have to be holding on for dear life, but maybe that's a vibe, you know, like experiencing life as it comes. You know what they say about drunk people in car wrecks? Everybody else around them if they hit another car, or the people in the car with them, if they're not drunk, they get hurt. The drunk person generally gets out of the car and walks away, like maybe a small injury, like very insignificant. And that is because they were not fighting what was happening. They were like literally maybe going with the flow because they were flowing with the liquid liquor stuff inside that made them loose, though, and sort of it's spirits. So perhaps it's spirited away that tense awareness, or like the smarts to get scared because you're about to be in an imminent crash. But also, I mean, let me get all the blame out of that. Well, I went mothers on drunk drivers, mothers against drunk drivers on that one. Not a mother. Just wanted a full disclosure there. Anyway, experiencing life as it comes. To me, that suggests that you're not fighting it. You're kind of going with the flow. And the picture also seems to be telling the story. You know, it's like just drifting along there, the drifter. And then the last card I pulled was number 46 card, number 10, another 10, if you add the 4 and the 6. So what do we got? We got 2 10s and a 5. Well, 7, but 7's not a bad number. Okay, so number 46 card here is Root Girl. I was not talking about roots in my essay too. So Root Girl, the disowned self. And so Root Girl is the hair's on fire. The tree looks like it's having, like it got struck by lightning or something. And then, where's my indicator? There's a figure or a head in there. Come on, man, where's my thing? There it is. And you can see that she's got some, looks like feathers there. And it could be flames, but it does look like a feathered headdress of an indigenous person. And the fact that they're like in that tree, you can actually see there's someone sitting there. There's like buckled shoes right there, pair of knees right there, little bent over sitting person torso. They seem to be holding something in this arm here. There's the eyes, the face is there, there's the headdress on the head. There's a figure, is what I'm getting at. And you see the trees on fire, but they're not jumping up and running away. It must be figurative. I just realized it's sort of like describing how I've been feeling. Hair on fire, just sitting still, trying to maintain, like, just look, oh yeah, it's cool, I'm fine. Everything around me's going up in flames, but I'm good. I'm not freaked out. Look at my eyes, I'm fine. The reactor, it seems to be going off on the inside too. You can see it coming out of the eyes, but they're holding it together. And that's kind of like what you have to do when it's like this. When it's crazy with crazy sauce. And so the disowned self, I feel like, is all of the stuff sort of like burning off here, the way you would burn off alcohol from a dish that you're preparing to eat, that kind of dish. It's there, but it does have to go through that process of elimination. And those systems, like money, government, education, all of these sort of foundational pillars of American life are just shaky and trying to fall over or disintegrate or implode, or like, we're so diverse here. Even our disasters have a DEI function. Okay, I'm done. Except to say, if you're having a hard time, just try to remember who you are. This is what you came here for. And I don't want to say it like it's gonna come out wrong, but give me a chance with it. Now I forgot what I was gonna say. Remember who you are. And if you don't remember, let's just say that you're here. If you're seeing this, some part of you does remember, does know why you're here and what you're meant to do when you're here. And I don't mean to make it sound like you have some, like, calm down, obligation that you need to go and get done, like, crack the whip. Like, it's not like that. But you're here to play a role, and part of the role is like holding it down for everybody else who may not be able to hold it together when the hair is on fire and they're just jumping up and running around and setting off other fires. And so the light worker type people, the helper type people, there's a whole bunch of other names. I'm just going with light worker now for expedience, but in different ways, we're all here to help, like, maintain cohesion, a sense of calm, like, help be as informative with things as possible so that you just don't feel like having awareness of stuff does not necessarily preclude you from feeling it strongly. But I feel like if you're informed and you're curious, which means that you're in a state of mind to receive the information and not like freak out so bad that it harms you, it can actually like work for you. You know what I'm saying? It's like learning about the moon and like, oh, okay, I get how that could affect me, and boom, it affects you again. Is my point. And for those of us that are not in that state of mind, it helps to have people around to go, hey, it's cool, it's gonna be all right. And it is. Like, even if there's some kind of mass disaster that's emotionally terrible and makes everybody go through it, it's in the script. It's supposed to happen. So, like, remember that, you know. I guess The Matrix, which I generally don't feel like it's the best sort of way to describe, like, the awakening of the, well, it's not just planet Earth, it's the whole galaxy is having this ascension. So I don't know. I've lost my train of thought again. Oh shoot, my ears are really hot. I want to go. So yeah, there's help for people that need it, and if you're worried, don't worry too much about like exactly why you're here. Just know that to help is why you're here, or why you're here, why you're here. Okay, I'm done. Thank you and good night.